I've been thinking this week about why Disney movies are not on par with when we were growing up. And I think I figured it out. It started from a good place and devolved quickly. I think at some point they said, you know, why are all the villains one note? Mm-hmm. They're just evil. They just revel in being bad. They have no story. They have no arc. So at some point they said, let's create villains that are a little bit deeper, have more of an arc. That on its own is a great idea, because if you can contrast the villain's motivations with the hero's motivations, a la Star Wars, it makes for a very compelling story because everybody has an arc. But what Disney does instead is create arcs that are more interesting for their villains, and then the hero doesn't really have an arc. The hero doesn't have an arc. Their whole arc is realizing how awesome they are. And so they're not actually overcoming a flaw. Instead, they're just having to overcome their insecurity, which is fine for a movie or two, but when it kind of becomes everything and the villain is more interesting than the heroes, then that's why these movies aren't quite as...
Which movie are you talking about in
I'm
particular?
thinking, I mean, most of the Disney movies recently have sort of had this I didn't realize how awesome I was kind of vibe. Like, they're not really, and when I say that, that's a little bit unfair, but what I mean is that the hero doesn't have a flaw that they are having to overcome. So a movie that does this, that was somewhat recent, is Encanto, which is actually a good movie. And that's why I'm saying it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I'm just saying, when you look over the breadth of the library over the last 10, 20 years, I think that's a problem. And I don't think that they have storytellers that are good enough anymore to fix that.
Maybe because everybody now thinks of themselves as evil, so they're trying, the writers are trying to make the evil characters interesting because they can see themselves more as the evil person than the good person.
I don't know if that's conscious, but that could be part of it. Yeah, but I think the inverse is true too, where everybody sees themselves as just flawless and I'm exactly the way I'm supposed to be, and blah 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 blah. And if you have a criticism of me, well, cast it aside.
Yeah.
And so the arc to them, the arc is great. The arc is, oh, people are being mean to me, but I just need to realize I don't have to listen to you. Versus,
oh, I see,
a movie like Lion King or something, where the hero of the story literally runs away out of fear, and his whole arc is that he has to go and be the father of the pride, and he wants to be selfish and not do that because he's scared. So the whole movie is about him realizing he has to go do that. But but Lion King is an example of a villain that is just a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think at some point they said, well, what if Scar was more interesting, but at the expense of Simba now just being oh, I'm just so scared to be the king of the pride. I don't know. No, you can do it.
Yeah.
All right, I can do it. And then Scar is okay, I'm a good guy now.
Yeah.
And it's what? This is something about this is weird.
I see what you mean.
He should just be a bad guy, because it's this isn't real life. Just tell me a story of good versus evil. And I get, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I see what you mean. That's interesting. I haven't watched a Disney movie in so long that I didn't even...
Yeah.
I still thought they were still doing the evil stuff.
No.
And there's no...
No,
okay.
It's yeah.
Well, at least they're trying something, Josh. At least they're trying to add more depth to their stories.
Sure.